What if the largest predator in dinosaur history suddenly appeared in modern Africa? Imagine standing near the banks of the Nile River when the water begins to ripple. At first, you might think it's a crocodile. But then a massive sail rises from the water, followed by a long, crocodile-like snout filled with sharp conical teeth. The ground shakes as a creature longer than a bus slowly steps onto the riverbank. You are looking at Spinosaurus, one of the most mysterious and powerful predators to ever walk the earth. But here's the real question. If this prehistoric giant somehow returned today, could it actually survive in modern Africa? Would it dominate the ecosystem like it once did millions of years ago, or would it struggle against the animals and challenges of today's world? To answer that, we first need to understand just how powerful this dinosaur really was. When scientists talk about the largest carnivorous dinosaurs, the conversation usually includes giants like Tyrannosaurus rex and Giganotosaurus. But Spinosaurus may have been even bigger. Most estimates suggest it reached around 15 meters, or nearly 50 feet in length. That's longer than a city bus and much larger than most modern land predators. Its weight may have reached 7 to 10 tons. What made it even more unique was the massive sail on its back, formed by long spines extending from its vertebrae. Some scientists believe this sail helped regulate body temperature, while others think it was used for display, making the animal appear even more intimidating to rivals. Just imagine an animal this size moving through African wetlands today. It would instantly become the largest predator in the region, dwarfing lions, crocodiles, and even most hippos in sheer length. But size alone doesn't make a successful predator. The real power of Spinosaurus came from its hunting abilities. Unlike many other carnivorous dinosaurs that hunted on land, Spinosaurus had a long, narrow snout filled with straight, conical teeth. These teeth were perfect for grabbing slippery prey, especially fish. Its jaws were similar to those of modern crocodiles, designed to snap shut quickly in the water. Fossil evidence even suggests that Spinosaurus had pressure-sensing organs in its snout, helping it detect movement in the water, much like crocodiles do today. This means it may have been an extremely specialized hunter, capable of catching large fish with speed and precision. But it probably didn't stop there. Scientists believe Spinosaurus may have also hunted smaller dinosaurs, turtles, and other animals that lived near rivers and swamps. In modern Africa, this ability could make it a terrifying ambush predator along rivers and lakes. One of the most fascinating discoveries about Spinosaurus is that it may have been semi-aquatic. Unlike most dinosaurs, Spinosaurus had dense bones that helped it stay submerged in water. Its tail was also unusually wide and paddle-shaped, which suggests it could swim efficiently. In other words, this dinosaur may have spent much of its life in rivers, lakes, and wetlands. This lifestyle would actually give it a major advantage if it appeared in modern Africa. The continent is home to massive river systems like the Nile, the Congo River, and countless lakes and wetlands. These environments are full of fish and aquatic animals, meaning a creature like Spinosaurus would likely find plenty of food. However, modern Africa already has powerful aquatic predators, and that leads us to an interesting comparison. One of the most dangerous animals in Africa today is the Nile crocodile. These reptiles can grow over 5 meters long and are responsible for more human fatalities than any other large predator in Africa. They are incredibly powerful, with one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom. If Spinosaurus appeared in modern rivers, it would likely compete directly with Nile crocodiles for territory and food. But the difference in size would be dramatic. Spinosaurus was much longer and likely heavier. In a direct confrontation, the dinosaur might have the advantage simply due to its size and height. However, crocodiles are extremely efficient predators that have survived for millions of years with very little evolutionary change. They are masters of ambush hunting and could still pose a serious threat, especially to a young or injured Spinosaurus. Now let's move on to one of Africa's most famous predators, the lion. Lions are social hunters that work together in prides to take down animals much larger than themselves, including buffalo and sometimes even young elephants. If Spinosaurus lived in Africa today, lions would probably avoid it most of the time. A fully grown Spinosaurus would simply be too large and dangerous to attack. However, lions are opportunistic hunters. If they encountered a sick, injured, or young Spinosaurus, they might attempt to attack as a group. Even then, the dinosaur's massive size and powerful jaws would make such a fight extremely risky for the lions. Another animal that could interact with Spinosaurus is the hippopotamus. Hippos may look slow and peaceful, but they are actually among the most aggressive animals in Africa. Adult hippos can weigh up to 1.5 tons and have incredibly strong jaws capable of crushing bones. They are extremely territorial in rivers and lakes. If Spinosaurus entered their territory, conflicts might occur. However, Spinosaurus was still much larger and more specialized for aquatic hunting. In many situations, the two animals might simply avoid each other, sharing the same waters but focusing on different types of prey. So the big question remains, could Spinosaurus actually survive in modern Africa? In terms of food and habitat, the answer might be yes. Africa still has huge river systems and abundant fish populations, which would suit its semi-aquatic lifestyle perfectly. Its enormous size would make it one of the most dominant predators in the ecosystem. However, there are other challenges. Climate conditions have changed since the time of the dinosaurs, and modern ecosystems are very different. But perhaps the biggest challenge would be humans. Modern Africa is filled with cities, villages, roads, and farms. If a creature as massive as Spinosaurus appeared today, it would quickly attract global attention. Governments, scientists, and wildlife authorities would have to decide how to deal with such a dangerous animal living near human populations. So what do you think? If Spinosaurus suddenly returned today, would it become the king of Africa's rivers, or would modern animals and humans push it to extinction once again? Would it dominate crocodiles, scare away lions, and rule the waterways, or would the modern world simply be too difficult for a dinosaur to survive in? Tell me your opinion in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel Age of Smilodon for more epic prehistoric content.